My next point is teach them deen, their religion. It should be our very first and the last and the middle point. Because if they actually know the deen, and by deen I don't really mean just the rituals of the deen, the character of the deen. It's the highest character out there ever could be, how perfect Islam is. Unfortunately, our children are youth and we are not fully aware of it. Either we know just a portion of it, which is actually more damaging because then we just take that portion and go wild with it, and sometimes misunderstand it because it's half of the information. So how do you do that? Number one, be a role model. Be a role model. Be a role model. Just by your actions. Just by your actions. And it's very simple, very powerful, yet very, very forgotten tool. Think of only one thing, if you will, that you would want your children to have, or you want to inculcate in their character, especially character related. I'm not talking about the rituals again or the ibadah part just yet here. And start practicing it day in and out with every breath you breathe, and just watch the change happen. I know this very firsthand, and I can swear by it. Like, there is no confusion on that one. So that, number two, don't make it look like separate than the rest of your life. It is the life. It is us. It is how we live. So when we say, especially in the character building, you couldn't talk to your grandma like this because in this culture we don't talk to grandma, then they're like, okay, whatever, when you're a grandma, then my kids can talk to you like that because I'm not 100% from that culture. This is not what we want them to know or understand. In Islam, this is how you treat elderly people, period. No matter what age, era, time, culture, religion they come from. Number three, do circle times every night. Let that be the last thing on their minds before bed. Literally the last thing. And again, this one is exactly another one that I can guarantee on, because I have experienced myself as a child. I have done it as a mom, and I have seen tremendous, miraculous effects, positive and beautiful effects of that. And there would be like a pointer that the younger you start, the better, obviously. And once it becomes a habit, no matter how annoyed your teen is because they're teenager and they're going through hormonal changes and whatnot, they will go through this process because it has become a habit. It has become a process of how we live and how we go to bed, or how the bedtime routine is. And in that circle time, again, you can pick and choose. Some children like stories, which I have used a lot in my circle time with my children. And through those stories, they learn, Khadija and Fatima and who Abu Huraira was, and what, all this. And we humans are the creature of storytelling, no matter what age we are. Or we could do a hadith, or we could do, even in a hadith, there are stories that are related to a hadith. Many of them, not all of them. Depending on the age or the interest of the child, we could do tafsir, like very brief little tafsir. We're just going to describe or detail, understand a detailed understanding of this ayah today. Or let's say, what's your favorite word? Do we have that word in Quran? How is it explained? Let's find that out. Or there is another one that it's really interesting and fun, that you just open your Quran anywhere, close your eyes, and just kind of run through your finger wherever you stop. We will just read that ayah or that word particularly, and see how this word can affect our lives, and go in kind of in-depth study of that one word, maybe depending again on the interests and the age and involvement of your children and you. It is crucial that you do it very, very regularly, because no matter what you do in that circle time, that is not as important as it is that you do it on regular basis and you don't have any breaks in the middle. Also, teach them their deen as early as possible. Don't wait until they're big enough, mature enough, quote unquote, or in most cases it's too late. Because yes, there are certain certain things that you have to teach at certain age because they're too young to understand, or for example their relationship with their husband or physical relationship. This is something that late teen, early adulthood is kind of a topic. But when you start early, it sets the stage for them how to live life. It gives them ideas to think about. And as I said, if we do it discuss such a thing in circle time, when they go to bed, this is the last thing in their head, and willingly or unwillingly they are going to think about it unconsciously. It will stay there longer, and it helps a lot in how they start thinking about things around them. As we know, when a man dies, his action discontinues from his except three things: perpetual sadaqah, knowledge by which benefit is acquired, and a pious child who prays for him. No child can actually pray for us after we've died unless they have the belief of akhirah very strong. They have connection with us very strong, which we discussed in our first point, the communication. They have a relationship with us, and they have taqwa, that they are afraid that you might be in trouble, God forbids, or you need dua, or dua is going to help you more and more and more. For that, the stage has to be set as early as possible. About the circle time, they can be as long as 5 to 10 minutes. Just they have to be regularly done. No matter you're traveling, you're on vacation, you're in another country, they must be done, and they must be done together as a family. It's a very bonding time as well, because everybody has to sit down and just quietly listen and connect. It helps a lot. I really believe in that. I always, if there is one thing that I would do, this would be on top of the list, because I've seen it's how well it works.